Welcome to Game 7 of the U23 National Championships. Tonight's game features the visiting Rostock Junior Batmen and the home team Shallow Lake Sting. The lineup for Rostock. Batting leadoff, the center fielder, Tyler Brancho. Batting second, the catcher, Nick McGreen. Batting third, the left fielder, Danny Scott. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, Aiden Yard. Batting fifth, the designated player, Matt Weiler. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Nolan Bultina. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Gavin Gibbons. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Riley Good. Batting ninth, the shortstop, Blake Brubaker. The flex pitching, but not batting, Dale Schweier. For the home Shallow Lake Sting, batting leadoff, the center fielder, Reese Martin. Batting second, the shortstop, Dre Howell. Batting third, the first baseman, Jackson Pegalo. Batting cleanup, the catcher, Ben Redmond. Batting fifth, the second baseman, Jack Kibble. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Cole Watson. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Colby McComb. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Johnny Couch. Batting ninth, the designated player, Austin McComb. Pitching, the flex, but not batting, Isaac McInnes.
Alright, how best to celebrate summer? By being outdoors and enjoying the outdoor activities. We are live at Peter Holman Ball Park here in Kitchener to witness the games that have been played. I mean, the Canadian Fast Pitch Championship holds from today, Monday, up until Sunday, and we're having 3 major tournaments. We have the U23, we have the Masters, and the Men's. Come on, if you have some time, come out and watch in person. Otherwise, you can catch all the fun details, all the highlights and interviews for sure, live on CCDTV on our website and also on YouTube. The channel to go to is ccdtv.ca.
begin the game, Shallow Lake is dropping to 9, and pitching will be Austin McComb.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Peter Hallman Ball Yard here in Kitchener for game number 7, the final game on day number 1 of the Softball Canada U23 tournament put on by the Kitchener Fastball Promotion. I'm Fred Wallace along with Bernie Burnett. Bernie, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much. I'm with Kitchener Fastball Promotions, and we're really excited to bring this tournament to Peter Hallman Ball Yard. It's one of the premier ball yards in Canada, and excited to have Fred here with us. We always enjoy Fred's company.
Looking forward to our game tonight. It's the Shallow Lake Sting, who will be in against the Rostock Junior Batmen. The Batmen are coming off a pretty one-sided victory on the day today, and maybe not a surprise, Bernie.
No, they've got a good team. They're one of the top contenders. Although, I mean, they're gonna have some competition. Been a pretty good day. There's been some really good games so far.
First game had lots of drama. We'll run down the scores as we go, but the first game today, Delisle trailed all the way into the bottom of the 8th inning before they won it on a walk-off 3-run homer. Rostock will be the visiting team, so leading off will be Tyler Brancho. Once again, we're at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard here in Kitchener, the event put on by Kitchener Fastball Promotions, and we also want to thank CCDTV. Farhan is with us tonight, making sure that everything stays copacetic and along the lines here. Leading off for the Batmen will be number 15, their center fielder, Tyler Brancho. What do you know about Rostock? I know they come in as number 1 or Ontario 1 for this tournament, Bernie.
Yes, to be honest, I haven't been following the ball too much. We've been busy with our own tournament at the men's level, so I haven't been following the U23s too much. I know last year we hosted the U23s, and Tavistock was the favorite, but ended up Newfoundland, I believe, won the U23s last year. So
and while we're talking about Newfoundland, they are in action as well. Multiple diamonds here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. We're underway. Austin McComb's first pitch is fouled off by Tyler Brancho. And again, Austin McComb is getting the start for the Shallow Lake Sting. Sting come in at 0-1. They were shut out in their opening game today as New Hamburg beat them by a score of 9-0, a mercy victory. And New Hamburg in action tonight and doing very well against the defending champions, Bernie. New Hamburg obviously coming to play here on day 1.
Yeah, they're kind of a local team, and they indicated that they thought they had a shot this year.
McComb rears back and will deliver again. This is fouled off the other way, so one down the third base side, one down the first base side. As mentioned in our opening game today, the Delisle Pride came from behind and won in extra innings on a walk-off 3-run homer. They beat the Tavistock Merchants by a score of 5-3. That 3-run homer was belted by Davis Luskowski.
And in that game, they were down 2-1 going into the last inning and pulled out a tie with a in-the-park home run.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, that was quite a hit. McComb fires. There's a ball. The inside-the-park home run was slammed by, not Jordan Durham, by Tom Norris. 2 out, bottom of the 7th inning, last at bat, and he hits an inside-the-park home run to tie up the game. A lot of drama in that first game.
And then they win on the 3-run home run.
Swing and a miss by Tyler Brancho. That brings Nick McGrain to the plate. McGrain is the catcher for the Rostock Junior Batmen. Again, the Batmen are 1-0. They won their opening game convincingly, beating Delisle by a score of 11-3. So, as mentioned, Delisle has played twice today. They will go to day number 2 with a record of 1-1. Here's the pitch from McComb. called strike. We're keeping our eyes on diamond number 2. The defending champions, the Monroe Mariners out of Newfoundland, are trailing New Hamburg by a score of 3-0. The Mustangs looking to go to 2-0 here tonight. And that pitch is high. That game only in the top of the third, so a good start for New Hamburg. But it looks as if Monroe is threatening. And in fairness to Monroe, they were trailing in their opening game before they came back to beat Quebec 5-2. We'll run down all the scores from day number 1 as the day progresses or as this game progresses. 1 out, top of the first inning, scoreless.
It is interesting, Fred, that there's a lot of variables that go into a tournament, and that would include Newfoundland, traveling from Newfoundland and just arriving, getting off the airplane, driving here, and then playing. That's got to have an impact.
Not just bus legs. Called strike on Nick McGrain. I think Nick might have thought that was a ball and was on his way to first base. See what Austin McComb can deliver here. 1 away, top of the first inning. That's fouled away. This is years ago, Bernie. Rain got in the way at what was then a junior tournament, and it was Kelly's Pub from Newfoundland. And their flights were set for the Sunday evening, and everything got delayed to the Monday. And the good people out in Newfoundland decided to pony up, and Newfoundland stayed for the next day and won the tournament.
That would be the Newfoundland spirit. That's great.
Austin McComb in the circle for Shallow Lake. There is ball 4.
Hustle down the line on that, just in case.
Danny Scott comes to the plate now for the Rostock Junior Batmen. They are, in fact, Ontario 1. This is game number 7, 7th and final game on day number 1. The other game on Diamond 2 is in the middle of the third inning. New Hamburg Mustangs with a 3-0 lead over the Monroe Mariners. Belted to first, doubled up.
That was a hard hit ball. Screaming liner right down the first base line. Runner didn't have a chance.
Jackson Pegalo with the quick hands for Shallow Lake. Shallow Lake didn't get off to the best start in their opening game today. They were down 3-0 in the first inning. In fact, the leadoff batter hit a solo home run in that game. But that's a much better start for Shallow Lake as they come to the plate now in the bottom of the first inning.
Shallow Lakes from up your area. Are you familiar with how they're doing this year?
I think that they thought making the tournament was an accomplishment on their part, being one of the Ontario entries. I know their coach and manager, one of the executives, is Ken Kibble, and that's the way that Ken put it to me. And there were some raised eyebrows based on the way that the first game went. You don't want to start the tournament with a mercy loss, but that's what happened.
And sometimes with a young team, that's a learning experience that they can take forward.
Dale Schweier will be the pitcher for the Rostock Junior Batmen, left-handed pitcher.
Leading off for
I look at that name and automatically make the connection to Rob Schweier. I'm not sure if there is a connection, but Rob was a multi-sport athlete. Pitched, obviously, probably his best sport was pitching. I know he played hockey for the Owen Sound Platers and the Kingston Frontenacs. And at one point, I think he held the record at West Hill Secondary School for the high jump. So, Rob, I'm not sure if Rob and Dale are connected, but if they are, you can see that there's quite a connection in the bloodlines. This is Reese Martin, the center fielder. He'll come to the plate for the Shallow Lake Sting. Scoreless, bottom of the first inning in game number 7. Again, Rostock comes in 1-0. Shallow Lake 0-1. Nobody off to a 2-0 start, although the winner of the New Hamburg Mariners game will go to 2-0. And right now that's looking good for New Hamburg. Again, at the moment, that's in the bottom of the third inning.
if last year's U23 was any indication, we had a bunch of teams, undefeated teams, going into the last day that suddenly were defeated, and we had quite the tie going on.
Rapid fire strike on Reese Martin, strike one. 3 teams are finished on day one, Bernie. Delisle 1-1, Tavistock 1-1, Quebec 0-2. That's fouled away for strike 2.
Kind of a half swing there, didn't mean to hit it.
Reese Martin was 0 for 2 in the game against New Hamburg today. He did draw a walk, so he's been on base. We'll see if he can get something started here. Fouls that one off.
One of the organizing nightmares here, Fred, are foul balls that go above the screen, and there's quite a few of them. And on the one side, we have a storage unit business that doesn't let us have the balls back, and behind us we have a railway track that we can't get to. So we go through a lot of balls.
Okay. And not knowing the history of the ballpark, what came first, the storage area, the trains, or the ballpark?
I think the trains were definitely here when the ballpark came. Storage unit, I think, came after.
We want to remind people, if you're in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, this is a fabulous tournament, not just for under 23, which has been exclusive today, but we've got 3 tournaments that will run concurrently from now through Sunday, which I'm sure is another organizational challenge, Bernie.
So the reason for 3 tournaments altogether is every 2 years the World Championships happen, and that throws ball schedules just wonky, and compresses a lot of tournaments and games because of the extra play.
The World Championships were in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Thought I saw that. Schweier wants a new ball.
That's the one tournament we've never ran. We've run a lot of ISCs and we've run Canadians. We've never run the Worlds. It's we've looked at it, and it's challenging to run.
So Reese Martin draws a walk. That's his second walk on the day. That brings Dre Howell to the plate. Howell pitched in game 1 for Shallow Lake today and had two of the 3 hits that they would get in the game. Sequentially, Shallow Lake had a single by Howell, a double by Howell, and a triple by Isaac McGinnis, but could not plate a run. Looking for their first run of the tournament. That's fouled away. And
another last ball.
Did that go to the train?
That went to the train tracks.
You talked about the challenges for hosting the World Fastball Championships. What are they, Bernie?
Well, weather. You never know what you're going to get with weather. The rules here are if you get any sign of thunder and lightning, then the game is stopped. And once the last clap of thunder is heard, you wait another 30 minutes. So that can really throw a wrench into the schedule. And then you're trying to, you got to accommodate the refs, the Softball Canada officials, and you're in charge of all of that. So there's lots of work to do. And last year in the one tournament, we have a little creek that runs by here, and we had a torrential downpour, and we had a flood, and the ballpark was flooded. So yeah. Lots of things to think about.
So Shallow Lake is threatening. Dre Howell singles up the middle. Going to third base on that hit is Reese Martin. 2 on, nobody out. And here is Jackson Pegalo. Pegalo, the first baseman who made the nice play on the last putout. Pegalo was 0 for 2 in the previous game. Uncontested steal of second base for Dre Howell. 2 runners in scoring position to see if Jackson Pegalo can get a little offense ignited here for the Shallow Lake Sting. Swung through that one. Boy, Schweier's got some zip on his fastball. Nice night in Kitchener. Looking at my precious phone, it told me that the temperature would get down to about 18 degrees tonight. Although a lot of people, I see some blankets and I see a lot of hoodies out there.
Given the heat wave we had coming up to this, we weren't sure what we were going to get, but it has certainly cooled down.
Pegalo swings and misses. One away. First strikeout for Dale Schweier. That brings the catcher, Ben Redmond, to the plate.
With one out, batter is catcher number 12, Ben Redmond.
Earlier today, Redmond was playing in right field. He walked and fouled out in his 2 plate appearances. Two on, one out. Bottom of the first inning here in game number 7, the final game on day number 1 of the U23 Softball Canada Championship. Seven games today, a handful coming up tomorrow, including the start of the men's tournament late tomorrow night. And we've also got the Masters coming your way during the course of the week. If you missed us earlier, everybody in the under-23 division will play a true round robin. 6 games between the 7 teams. Everybody plays everybody. The top 6 teams will advance to a playoff round on Thursday. And that's lined into center. That should score 2. So Ben Redmond with a 2-run single plates both Dre Howell and Ray Martin, and Shallow Lake has their first runs of the tournament. We're going to have some medical attention, it looks like, over at first base.
Didn't see what happened there.
No, I was watching the runners run, whether it happened on the relay into the infield. It looks as if the situation is cleared up. So a quick start for the Shallow Lake Sting. I was watching the replay, Farhead. Conceivably, we could have a new first baseman. No, that's Nolan Baltena. Looks like we're ready to get back to action. That'll bring Jack Kivell to the plate. Kivell playing on the infield, playing second base in this game. In the last game against New Hamburg, Kivell was at shortstop, went 0 for 2. Popped out to the first baseman and struck out. Swing and a miss there. One away, bottom of the first inning, and Shallow Lake with a quick 2-0 lead. Reese Martin and Dre Howell have scored on a 2-run single by Ben Redmond, and Redmond has moved into second base. Schweier has 1 strikeout to his credit, striking out Jackson Pegalo, the cleanup hitter, or the number 3 hitter. Redmond in the cleanup spot with the 2-run single, and Jack Kivell batting 5th. Second strikeout for Dale Schweier. And now at the plate is Cole Watson. Watson is playing third base in this game. Did not play previously in the previous game against New Hamburg.
88, Cole Watson.
Watson, left-handed swinger, against the lefty Schweier. And there's a wild one. Scampering to third base is Ben Redmond. So Shallow Lake looking to make a big inning here. 2 in already. Runner at third base with 2 out. Schweier may strike out the side, but may see that he's down by 2, Bernie, before the junior batsman get to the plate for a second time. Two strikes now. Once again, if you're in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, we are at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. And there's the third strike. And so Schweier strikes out the side, but Shallow Lake goes up 2-0.
For Shallow Lake in the bottom half of the first inning, there were 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 runner left.
Yeah, if you're a fastball fan, you've never been to Peter Hallman Ball Yard, it's worth coming down for a visit. It's one of the best features, one of the best diamonds setups in I think Canada, but I'm a bit biased.
Every community would like one like this,
yes,
Bernie, no question.
Certainly all the teams that come here and play and all the players say they love the place and they like coming back. So it's a very popular ballpark. Peter Hallman was one of our big family. It was the Hallman family that supported a lot of ball, women and men. And Peter unfortunately passed away in a motorcycle accident back in 1999. And he was also a very community-minded person, and hence the ballpark being named after Peter. Jim, his brother Jim, has sort of picked up the mantle from there, sponsored many teams over the years, and created Kitchener Fastball Promotions, actually, and is a strong supporter in the community.
As it pertains to the ballpark, one of the impressive things to me is the accessibility. That it's not just for the upright. If you are confined to a wheelchair, there's plenty of access, plenty of ramps, and lots of viewing space for you.
Good point.
We go to the second inning. The Shallow Lake Sting leading by a score of 2-0. Just checking really quickly, Bernie. Bottom of the fourth inning on diamond number 2, the New Hamburg Mustangs looking to go to 2-0, have a 4-0 lead on the defending champions, the Monroe, Newfoundland Mariners. The Mariners also looking to go to 2-0, but they're going to have to do some quick backpedaling here. Here's Aiden Yard. Right fielder for Rostock. Aiden, I'm somewhat familiar with, was a draft pick of the Owen Sound Attack 3-4 years ago. Good hockey player, very good player. I understand a better ball player, which sometimes is the case.
Sounding like you have a lot of multi-sport athletes up your way.
McComb with the pitch, and Yard swings through.
That was a good changeup.
Top of the second inning here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Shallow Lake with a 2-0 lead over Rostock. 2 strikes on Aiden Yard. I'm assuming Aiden and Austin have met each other before. This is game number 7 on the opening day of Softball Canada's Under-23. Kitchener hosting it. Lots of games tomorrow, lots of games in all divisions on Wednesday. Ground ball to the shortstop, couple of steps and a good arm there by the shortstop, Dre Howell. 4 up, 4 down, which brings Matt Weiler to the plate. Matt is the designated player. Again, I'm making an assumption here that there can't be a lot of Weilers out there. A Joseph Weiler, who I'm assuming is a brother or a relative, was the winning pitcher for Ontario at the Canada Games this week out in Newfoundland. One away in the top of the second inning. Rostock trailing 2-0, looking to get something going here. Fouled away. Action tomorrow will kick off at 10 o'clock. Essentially, it's easy to set your watch to this tournament. There's a game every 2 hours on one diamond or the other.
That's, of course, if the games go according to Hoyle.
Sure. when your first game went 8 innings with
You're going,
inside the park home run to tie it up and a 3-run homer to win it.
And it gets balanced out by a short game later on, right?
Mm-hmm. Rain hasn't been a big factor, although it's been sometimes damp here in Kitchener today. When I arrived at about noon, there was a bit of a rain. Here at the ballpark at 1 o'clock, there was a rain, and somewhere around 6 o'clock, we had a little bit of a drizzle.
Yeah, it's been patchy cloud, and when the sun's out, it's really hot, and when the clouds roll in, it's really cold. It was a bit of an up and down day that way.
Cool but comfortable in the ballpark tonight. Shallow Lake with the 2-0 lead. Matt Weiler at the plate. Ground ball, foul. McComb looking to put away Matt Weiler. Nolan Baltina is on deck. Swinging strikeout by Matt Weiler. That's his second strikeout of the ball game. 5 up, 5 down for Austin McComb. Here is the first baseman, number 9, Nolan Baltina. Baltina batting in the number 6 position. Swinging strike 1. On diamond 2 after 4 innings, the New Hamburg Mustangs have a 5-0 lead over the Monroe Mariners. Bit of a surprise to me that there's a cushion there. I thought, Bernie, that would be an extremely tight ball game.
Yeah, and again, as I say, Newfoundland just rolled in, so that can always have an impact. And they can never be counted out. They're a pretty good team.
Good changeup by McComb. I'll be interesting to see one of the days ahead. Sauk, British Columbia, has a game at 9 o'clock in the morning, which would be 6 o'clock their time. So we'll see how they adjust.
Have an impact.
Yeah, how they adjust to that. 2 strikes on Baltina. Fouled away to stay alive. Five up, 5 down for Shallow Lake to this point. With the 2-0 lead, McComb sets again. Baltina again stays alive, getting just a piece of it, Bernie. I was telling you earlier, I had no comprehension of where Rostock is.
And you looked it up and found it.
Although I'm sure if you dropped me in Rostock, I would know where I was. Change up, fouled off again.
And as I mentioned to you when I played, Rostock was one of the places we played, so I know where it is.
For those across the country who might not know where Rostock is, or those in Ontario like me who have never been into the town or village limits, where is Rostock?
Elbow. Well, it's in the middle, I call it. In the middle, around a bunch of other little towns that I played at. I can drive you there.
Okay. And it's really not that far away.
No, not at all.
Now that I've looked it up on Google Maps. Macomb trying to get away from Baltina, who skies one into left field. Coming under it for Shallow Lake is the left fielder, Colby Macomb, and there's our third out. So after 1.5, the Shallow Lake Sting have a lead over Rostock, the junior batman, by a score of 2-0. Rostock no runs on no hits, 6 up, 6 down. Colby Macomb will be up first for Shallow Lake Sting.
Top half of the second inning, no runs and
So we're really looking forward this week to not only the U23s and the culmination on Friday morning of that championship, but we have the men's championship coming in and the Masters coming in.
At what point did Kitchener Fastball Promotions decide that they would handle all three?
Well, we had done the U23 Canadians, and basically we were asked if we wanted to consider 3 tournaments in one because of the situation that came up with the World Championships, and we said, sure, we'll put in a bid, and as you know, we got it. So it really wasn't our plan, but it was offered, and we said, sure, we'll take it on.
Very, very unique. I know in the city of Owen Sound at Duncan McClellan Park, they've had the women's championship, they've had the men's, they've had what was then called the juniors, they've had the bantams on a couple of occasions, and they've all been good tournaments, single tournaments. Duncan McClellan Park, like Kitchener, or like Peter Hallman Ball-Yard, has 3 diamonds available. Bud Park will be utilized as well as part of this week.
Yeah, it's usually a backup diamond for us. I should mention that the 3 tournaments is usually run over a shorter time period, but we suggested that we start on Monday because we would be able to do that. And a lot of the U23 players play on the men's teams, and so this gives them an opportunity to be able to play with their men's teams as well.
There's a strike. Batting for Shallow Lake is Colby Macomb, who made the last putout in the last inning. He's the left fielder. Shallow Lake coming to the bottom of the second inning with a 2-0 lead over Rostock. Shallow Lake lost their opening game, shut out by New Hamburg, who are in the process of shutting out Monroe Mariners as that game moves to the 5th inning. 2 runs here today, or in this game. Give them 2 on the tournament. Swing and a miss by Macomb, and he goes down swinging. All 4 of the outs recorded by Rostock have been strikeouts by pitcher Dale Schweier. Here is Johnny Couch, the right fielder.
The right fielder, number 6, Johnny Couch.
So as you're saying, Bernie, some teams or some players we might see Friday in the U23 and then see them play all day Saturday, all day Sunday.
That's correct.
No life like it, is there?
Yeah, not much of a home life.
That one's fouled away. Couch did not play in the game earlier today against New Hamburg, playing in right field in this game. Austin Macomb, who is pitching, will be up next. He is the flex player, or pardon me, he's designated player. Schweier looking for his 5th strikeout here in over 2 innings. Down by 2. When he's on, there he's unhittable. There's 5 strikeouts, Bernie. That's the first one that's been looking. And here comes the designated player, the pitcher, Austin Macomb.
Batting with 2 out, the pitcher, number 5, Austin Macomb.
Am I hearing that? Rain. Okay, all right. I just heard something go, and I went, all right, here we go. The good thing is Bernie and I are high and dry. So Schweier on the verge of striking out the side for a second straight inning. He's claimed victims today of Jackson Pegalo, Jack Kibble, Cole Watson, Colby McComb, Johnny Couch, and now Austin McComb is 1-1. Schweier will deal. McComb swings through. Just to update on diamond number 2, the New Hamburg Mustangs have a 5-0 lead over the defending champions as McComb strikes out.
Schweier's working quickly.
2 runs on 2 hits in the first inning, nothing in the second, and 3 straight, or 3 up, 3 down. All strikeouts, 6 strikeouts. Every out for Shallow Lake has been a shutout. What I started to say, Bernie, is that New Hamburg has a 5-0 lead, and they're at the plate in the bottom of the 5th. So this could be a surprising mercy should New Hamburg get something going. There's 1 strike, nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning of their game against the Mariners.
Well, from an organizational viewpoint, we don't mind the odd mercy. It helps keep the schedule on, but
Moves
I'm
the
sure
tournament
Newfoundland's not hoping that will happen.
Bernie, the other thing I wanted to mention, and we did talk, Bill and I earlier in the day on this, is my impression, which is very high, of the city of Kitchener and how they keep this facility.
Oh, the crew is spectacular. Every tournament we have, they're in there getting things done quickly and done well. The real impressive thing here is if we get a hard rain, they can get these diamonds back up and running within an hour. It's quite the thing to witness. Really good drainage in the outfields. The 2 main diamonds are clay diamonds, and they can bring them up fairly quickly.
So the clay sops it up. You don't need a tarp.
Yep, and then they have a compound that they can put in the batter's box and the pitcher areas, which tend to draw a lot of water with the hole.
Leading off from Rostock in the top half of the 3rd inning.
Basically, the divots that happen, the rain gathers there. But they do an excellent job of getting the diamonds ready pre-tournament and during the tournament.
Just looking at the ball diamond here, obviously a great dirt infield. The grass, you wouldn't want it to be any greener than what it is. It's forest green out there. So
and natural.
And in a summer in which we haven't had a lot of precipitation, till maybe the last few days, looks terrific.
Yep. Well, they've got a watering system, and they utilize it.
We're going to the 3rd inning. This is Gavin Gibbons. All right, I'm going to do a quick check here to see if this is in fact Gavin Gibbons. Alex McGilvery.
Between the program and the lineup cards and switches and changes, sometimes you're not sure.
Well, I'm wondering if Gavin Gibbons definitely was on the starting lineup, the photograph that either you took or I took of the lineup. And he was in the starting lineup. So I'm wondering if that mishap that happened on the Shallow Lake run led to Gibbons coming out of the game and McGilvery coming in.
There you go.
Again,
we're not privy to the changes up here.
Again, I'm speculating here, but I think I'm accurate. This Alex McGilvery is from Durham, Ontario, and was a member of the Ontario team that won the Canada Games by beating Quebec in the championship game. And in that championship game, I think he was 3 for 3 with a double and a run scored. No double there for Alex McGilvery.
Coming to bat with 1 out. The 3rd baseman, number 22, Riley.
Yeah, so we're back on track now, Bernie. Riley Good is at the plate with 1 away. Good, the third baseman.
Fred, people might notice that there's a fence in behind the fence here. So for these championships, we move the fence into the 250 mark. The park itself is a little deeper. And that's just Softball Canada regulations.
So naturally, on a regular basis, the fence is a little further away.
Correct. If you see it in your screen, the back fence has a yellow tape across the top.
Bounce down to first base. Pegalo scoops it up. And for Jackson Pegalo, that's his third putout in 2 innings. 3 innings, 2.5, 2 2/3. Pegalo in the first inning snared a line drive for a putout, then stepped on first for the force and got Nick McGrain. Here's Blake Brubaker, the shortstop. Two away, top of the third inning. Rostock at the plate. The junior Batmen are trailing by a score of 2-0. Shallow Lake doing all of their damage in the first inning. Again, just glancing over at diamond number 2. New Hamburg has runners at first and second with 1 out, needing 2 runs to mercy the defending champions from Newfoundland. Brubaker is the number 9 hitter. It's not a perfect game for Austin McComb, having given up the walk, but the walk was quickly erased on the double play. So this is the 9th batter that he's facing, and he cranks it. Although the center fielder has a good beat on it, and he's going to scoop it up in center field, Reese Martin. No runs and no hits for Rostock junior Batman in the top of the third inning. They have no runs and no hits over the course of the first 2.5 innings. Shallow Lake will be coming to the plate, top of the third, top of the order, holding a 2-0 lead. For Shallow Lake, Bernie, at ON1, they will play again tomorrow afternoon against the Monroe Mariners at 1 o'clock, and then essentially stay on the diamond and go against Equipe Quebec at 3:45. So that will be their 2 games tomorrow.
And back-to-back is always a challenge. And I certainly learned from last year's U23 that when you have teams that are undefeated after 3 games, even 4 games, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win it all.
Well,
that's why they play all the games and play each other once, and then the playoffs come.
I'm not sure what year it was, and I can look it up later, Bernie, but there was a men's tournament in Owen Sound years ago, probably 2012 for argument's sake. The Waterloo Twins barely made the playoffs. They came in 8th, and then they ran the table during the weekend. I'm Fred Wallace, along with Bernie Burnett, here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Kitchener Fastball Promotions, presenting Softball Canada's U23. And again, just to reiterate, it's a 3-level tournament this week. You're watching U23 now. The men's tournament starts tomorrow. And also in the mix will be the Masters, and I believe there are 7 teams in the Masters division as well.
Correct.
And there's our mercy. It looks as if New Hamburg has scored twice in the bottom of the 5th inning to score a 7-0 victory over Monroe Mariners. We'll wait to see if that goes final. Whoops. Isn't that fun when you hit the wrong button? There's a ground ball. Flip from second to first. Nice play at second. I believe that's Alex McGilvery who's there now. And so Reese Martin is retired. Here's Dre Howell. Howell had a single, stole a base, and scored a run on the RBI single from Ben Redmond. Ball one. So Howell had 2 hits earlier today in a shutout loss against New Hamburg, and has a hit batting in the number 2 slot here this evening against Rostock. That ground out by Reese Martin was the first out by Shallow Lake that wasn't by strikeout. Fouled away by Howell. Everybody chasing it, including Jackson Pegalo. 2 strikes. A little high.
Now, Fred, I think it'd be interesting to know for the U23 players that go up and play in the men's team and clearly face more competitive pitching, what the impact is as they go up and down. Whether going up helps them when they come down, or how that works.
You'd wonder from a batting standpoint if it wouldn't impact your timing. That you're facing a faster pitcher, and if you do well against a faster pitcher, came down perhaps against a slower pitcher than
Although
than
I've seen players that go up and face fast pitchers and then come back, and now they've got to adjust again, and they don't necessarily do as well. But I think they balance out to where they were eventually, and then they're going to get better, and that's the only way to get better is to face the faster pitchers.
And you know what? If you love the sport, like obviously some of these guys do, just using Alex McGilvery as an example, yesterday he was in Newfoundland. Strike 3, so Howell goes down. For Dale Schweier, that's 7 strikeouts in the ball game. Brings Jackson Pegalo to the plate. He was one of the 7 strikeout victims in the game. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Shallow Lake with the 2-0 lead. Still waiting for confirmation on the Mustangs' win, but by my count, it looks like it's done.
So I'm looking over the diamond, and it's empty, so it's done.
Strike called on Jackson Pegalo. I always hesitate to do this, to update my stats, because it never fails. It comes back to haunt me. I'm going to put New Hamburg down with a 7-0 win.
There are orange people on the diamond. Those are city workers. So,
so the game is, in fact,
there is
done.
no orange team.
So
game is done.
New Hamburg is 2-0.
On 2 mercies.
And Monroe is 1-1. That one's fouled away. Monroe won their opening game by a score of 5-3. So everybody's done except the game that we're watching here on our live stream. And again, our thanks to CCDTV. Pegalo called 3rd strike, throw down to first on the drop. So there's 8 strikeouts for Schweier, 2-3 on the putout, and Shallow Lake is done 1-2-3.
That was a great throw from the catcher to get it to the side of the runner and get the out on the missed 3rd strike.
Nick McGrain is the catcher for Rostock, and actually he takes the warm-ups quite seriously as well. When he zips the warm-up throw to second, it's got some juice on it. So here are the standings as of this moment. New Hamburg is at 2-0. Delisle, Tavistock, and Monroe are all 1-1. Quebec is 0-2. Rostock 1-0. Shallow Lake 0-1. Run differential, does it mean anything?
So only if we get to a tiebreaker situation. And if there's a 3-way tie, they'll go to run differential and determine the top team, and then the next 2 teams go head-to-head.
Okay.
So in different scenarios, yes, it plays a role. In other cases, it's the first is head-to-head, but obviously if you have a three-way tie and each is, you can have 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, and you can't go head-to-head.
Yeah. I beat you, you beat them beat me.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So then you go to run differential, and like I say, once the top team and that's determined, you don't stick with run differential, you go to head after that.
What I find remarkable is, as we go to the fourth inning here, with Rostock coming to the plate, and I'm not ruling out the junior batmen in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying it's conceivable that only 2 teams will be plus in run differential by the end of day 1. New Hamburg finishes at plus 16. Tavistock is at plus 1.
Welcome to the game of fastball.
Shallow Lake started 9 in the hole. They would be minus 7 at this moment. Rostock probably has a pretty good shot. They would be plus 6 as we go to the fourth inning, for what it's worth.
Should be coaching, Fred.
Or teaching math. What did you teach?
Phys ed.
Phys ed. Well, there'd be an element of mathematics involved in that, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Brancho is at the plate for Rostock. They trail 2-0 here in the fourth inning. Austin McComb has gone 9 up, 9 down, albeit Nick McGrain did reach first base on a walk, but the line drive by Danny Scott was pegged by Jackson Pegalo, who quickly stamped on the base for the double play. McComb deals. I think Shallow Lake wanted a call there. Nobody away in the top of the fourth, top of the order for the Batmen. So they try to get on the board here. Fourth strikeout for Austin McComb. Unlike Schweier, McComb has had his defense do some good work for him. Pegalo in particular. Shortstop Dre Howell with the strong arm. Also the left fielder with a nice catch as well. That was Colby McComb. So a couple of balls to the outfield. But to this point, it's been 10 up, 10 down. One away here in the fourth. Shallow Lake in blue. Wearing white tonight are the Batmen from Rostock, which according to Wikipedia is 20 kilometers north of Stratford. When I looked on the map, I could see Milverton and Sebringville and Stratford and Listowel. I thought, well, where is this place?
Yeah, and a lot of little towns in there, Broadhagen and all sorts of little towns, Newton and...
Ground ball to the second baseman. Nice flip across. Nice play made there by Jack Kibble at second.
Tucked in the middle somewhere there is Rostock.
Well, I don't want to anger the Rostock Chamber of Commerce, but the publicity hasn't been great. Danny Scott comes to the plate for Rostock. He's 0 for 1, but if his hit had been 5 feet to the right, or maybe another foot to the left, he would have had a double or triple. And there it is. First hit of the ball game for Rostock. The name is going to escape me, Bernie, but I was at a Blue Jays game and the Cubs called up a kid from Burlington. They were playing the Blue Jays. Casey, I'm sorry, I apologize for that.
Oh, no, I can't think of it either when I saw that game.
It's just coming to me, and we were sitting there, and he went 0 for 4 in his major league debut.
But his first swing was that was the catch that Schneider made.
Davis Schneider robbed him.
Grant was running towards the fence and reached out. And God, that was his first swing in the big leagues, and he should have had like a double or a triple.
On that, and then later in the game, he hit one that was just foul that would have been extra bases as well. So I thought that's the most productive 0 for 4 you could have.
I think the next game he got some hits, so yeah, he looked pretty promising.
This is Aiden Yard, the right fielder. Grounds one. Pegalo will pick it up. Can he get it across to Kibble? They say no. The ball was just in far enough that Pegalo couldn't grab it and get across, and Kibble, in fairness, had to come a long, long way to get to first base. So now Rostock is threatening. Runners at first and second, 2 out. Matt Weiler, the designated player, to the plate. Weiler struck out in his first appearance against Macomb.
Number 4, Matt Weiler.
Macomb taking his time here as he assesses the situation. And I will say this, Bernie, while I may not know where Rostock is, there is a heavy Grey Bruce influence on this team. Yard, Weiler, McGilvery are all familiar names to me.
Well, and I think they're far enough north that influence would be there.
And you got to go where you play, you know, or you got to go where you're going to get competition, right?
Yep.
You know, and with no offense to the Owen Sound Men's League, which I'm sure some of these guys play in, and some of them play in the Blue Water Fastball League, but if you get an opportunity to play for the junior batman, why not? Ground ball right to third, and it called foul. Very nice play by Drew Watson.
That got interesting.
Watson, the third baseman, pardon me, not Drew Watson. Cole Watson, Drew Watson, and this will mean nothing to you, but Drew Watson runs Watson's Tackle Shop.
Well, there you go.
Of course, in my neighborhood, it's the annual Salmon Spectacular right now, so Drew's up to his eyeballs in salmon. I'm having quite a day here today. All right, 2 strikes on Weiler. Called strike 3. Caught looking, 5 strikeouts.
Rostock in the top
No
half
runs,
of the
they
fourth
got
inning.
2 hits.
No runs.
Good chance for Rostock there.
And that brings us to the 5th inning.
In the middle of the fourth inning.
Here are the scores on the day to this point,
Rostock
Bernie.
0.
Delisle comes from behind to beat Tavistock, the host team, 5-3 in 8 innings with the walk-off 3-run homer in extra innings. The defending champions, Monroe Mariners, came from behind to beat Equipe Quebec by a score of 5-3. The Shallow Lake Sting were mercied in their first game by the New Hamburg Mustangs. Final score there was 9-0. The Junior Batmen, who you're watching now, won their opening game, beating Delisle 11-3, meaning Delisle went 1-1 on the opening day. Quebec was blanked by Tavistock in a pretty good game here, the game before this one. 3-0 was the final there. So Tavistock evened their record at 1-1. Quebec fell to 0-2. And New Hamburg moved to 2-0 tonight by blanking the Monroe Mariners 7-0. The defending champions from Newfoundland are 1-1 going to day 2.
I hope everyone wrote that down like you did.
Leading off for Shallow Lake in the top half, or the bottom half of the fourth inning. Number 12, Ben Redmond.
Well, one of the reasons we bring these types of tournaments to Kitchener-Waterloo is the local fan base, is a fastball fan base, is incredible. There's people that have been coming out to these tournaments for years and years and years, and know the history, know the players, and love to watch the game of fastball.
Probably watching generation after generation with some of these names, correct?
Well, that is correct. And, you know, a lot of our local coaches now have sons coming into play, and you can see that throughout all the province. Well, just listening to you and talking about, oh, that's so-and-so's son, shows the connection through the years that stays there and stays there. And
Here's another example, Shallow Lake. I have no idea what the family tree is for Ben Redmond, but that's a prominent name in fastball that goes back to the 50s. And there was a Redmond who on at least one, if not two occasions, got the best of Eddie Feigner. And somebody told me this story, and I didn't believe it.
Wow.
At all. And they actually had the clipping from the newspaper.
Really?
Where Eddie Feigner in the court lost.
They didn't lose a lot of games.
No. Like, what were they?
Oh,
502 and 3
or something? Yeah. No, it wasn't there. Oh, he got that ball to stay in. Yeah, no, that's an unbelievable. I mean, he would pitch from second. What was the court? 4 guys?
Yeah, I think so.
A battery and a couple fielders.
King in his court. This one is skied into right field. That's Aiden Yard under it, and Yard will make the catch for the junior batman, one away. Jack Kibble, the second baseman, coming to the plate. I was saying earlier, I can't speak for Jack's grandfather, but I know his father, who's part of the coaching staff for the Shallow Lake team, was an extremely prominent ball player in his day. Played in the men's tournament on multiple occasions.
With 1 out, number 14, Jack Kibble.
Kibble was the shortstop in the opening game, playing second base in this game. Schweier gets it by him. You were talking about the impact that a ball diamond has in various communities. Strike 2. Somebody once proposed to me that softball should be Canada's national summer sport, and I say that with no offense to lacrosse, just that not every community has an arena for box or field. Strike 3 called on Kibble. That's 9 strikeouts for Schweier. Whereas if I was to drive from here to Windsor, if I was to drive from here to Oshawa, I'm sure the lights of the ballpark would make a nice trail to all of those places.
Actually, and you'd probably go through Rostock.
I hope the mayor of Rostock gives me a call and tunes me in on some of this.
I think you put Rostock on the map.
Yeah. But it is great. You know, again, I'm from Midland, Ontario. Schweier, that's fouled away by Cole Watson.
I think in talking to you earlier, I mean, that was when we played fastball back in the day. That was our chance to go to all these small town Ontarios, towns, and learn the geography.
And Bernie, like I say, a lot of these places aren't towns. Weybridge isn't a town. Perkinsfield isn't a town. Vasey isn't a town. But they've all had fastball for decades.
I even remember like restaurants. So we'd go to Chepstow, and the restaurant was a restaurant called the Dunkeld. I don't know if you remember the Dunkeld.
Did it burn down?
It burned down. It's no longer there. But we had many memories from our restaurant experiences. I mean, in all sports, you know, you have your sports memories, but you also have your things you did outside of the game.
Your connections.
Have memories as well. Yeah.
10th strikeout for Dale Schweier as he strikes out Cole Watson. So we are done 4 innings. After scoring twice in the bottom of the first inning, the Shallow Lake Sting, the last 11 batters have all been retired, 8 of them by strikeout. The only difference, Reese Martin grounded out to second base to Alex McGilvery, and Ben Redmond flied out to right field to Aiden Yard. So we've got ourselves a 2-0 ball game as we go to the 5th inning here in game number 7 at the Softball Canada U23 here in Kitchener, put on by Kitchener Fastball Promotions. How big is Kitchener Fastball Promotions? What is it? How big is the organization?
How big is the organization? Well, there's about 5 or 6 of us on the committee. It was started up, I think I mentioned, by Jim Hallman. Basically right after Peter passed away. And So, I mean, the whole Hallman family was involved in supporting the sports and everything, but Peter was a big part of it. So I think Jim formed Kitchener Fastball Promotions to bring on some other people to help him. And, yeah, it's, like I say, we try and bring in quality tournaments. We run our own tournament and then look to bring in ISCs and Canadians when we can.
This is a bigger event for your regular tournament. How many volunteers do you need to run that?
So, glad you mentioned volunteers, because volunteers, unfortunately, are becoming harder and harder to come by, I think, in general, let alone for fastball. But for this tournament, we have close to 50 volunteers, and but in the past, we've had 70 to 80 volunteers to run just a single tournament, let alone a triple tournament.
First baseman Nolan Baltina, number 9 to bat. He flied out to left fielder Colby McComb earlier in the ball game, 0 for 1 on the night. It's 2-0 for Shallow Lake as we move to the top of the 5th inning. You talk about volunteers. Your background includes teaching. I think it's one of the most marvelous promotions or initiatives in the school system now that people are required to put in volunteer hours.
So that you hit a sore point with me there. When that first came in, I was so excited because they were gonna. You had to do volunteer hours in order to graduate, and the number I heard was 40 hours, and I thought that was 40 hours per year. It was 40 hours for the entire your
term.
4 years.
So
it was a good thing to put forward, but I thought they could have done a little better job with it. But
Baltina fouls that away. But in a case like that, with numerous high schools and post-secondary secondary school educations in this region, for your tournament, you should be teaming with kids that can get their 40 or most of their 40 hours done in one weekend.
In 1 week. But Fred, what we found was that the kids that were going to volunteer anyways did hundreds and hundreds of hours, and the non-volunteer types, rather than some were encouraged, but some just they got to the end and they didn't have any hours, and so they just sort of made them up.
Well,
I think it works. I think it gets more people into the volunteer system, but it wasn't.
This is cranked into right field, sliding after it and dropping it in right field. I thought he had a shot, and Baltina is going to round his way to third base.
Wow, that was some good base running there.
That is the third hit off Austin McComb in the ball game. First one for extra bases. And one of the hits was Aiden Yards, which really was a testament to how fast Aiden is afoot. Here is Alex McGilvery, who moved into second base in place of Gavin Gibbons.
Alex McGilvery.
0 for 1, having struck out in the third inning. Here we are in the 5th with a runner at third. That last hit by Baltina couldn't have been placed any better. The right fielder for the Shallow Lake Sting, Johnny Couch, made a valiant effort to get there, and I think he had most of it, but just couldn't contain it. So instead of a difficult one out, we're looking at a runner at third, nobody out, in a 2-run ball game. And now we're going to have a timeout as they're sensing something with Austin McComb. So a conference in the pitching circle here. If you're just joining us, we are in the top of the 5th inning. The Shallow Lake Sting, who are 0-1 in the tournament, are holding on to a 2-0 lead over the Rostock Junior Batmen, who are 1-0. Rostock has a runner at third, that's Nolan Baltina, with nobody out here in the 5th inning, and the bottom of the order coming up. So now we've got to look and see who number 13 is for Shallow Lake.
Tyler Franklin.
Okay, so Tyler Franklin has come into the game. or come onto the field. He played second base in the opening game. Will Jack Kivell go to shortstop? Franklin will go to second, and Howell come in to pitch. Again, that's my guess.
I think it might be a good guess.
I've really come to admire Dan Shulman, but also kind of envy Dan Shulman that right about now we'd be going to a Sportsnet promo while they sorted this out. You and I have to tread water here, Bernie. If that closes the book on Austin McComb, he went 4 innings, struck out 5, gave up 3 hits, a single, an infield hit, and again, that was the yard infield hit where yard speed of foot was the biggest factor, and the triple to Baltina that was almost caught. So a good pitching performance there. McComb has the ball. And I got to check here, and I'll have to ask you something again. He's the designated player. So if he no longer pitches, can he still bat? Again, I don't know the rules. Jamie Simpson, where are you?
Yeah, there are rules. Players can come back in. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on all the different scenarios.
So Alex McGilvery is at the plate, but we do have another change. So Pegelow's still at first. Franklin has gone to second. I believe that's Kibble at short. And McComb has still got the ball. So where did Howell go?
Maybe it's Howell that came out.
So that's not computing with me. Austin McComb was the pitcher. He's now firing balls to Jack Kibble. I purely anticipated that 8 for Shallow Lake, Dre Howell would come in.
So one of the Conestoga crew today, who is new to the sport, was asked me to explain the game to her. So I don't know if you ever tried to do that, Fred, to explain a game like this to someone that's never seen it.
Based on the difficulty that I'm having here.
But my point was going to be that, that was difficult, but even people that know the game don't know the extent of some of these rules.
All right.
And
tell me that my vision's not crazy, and that's number 5 still pitching.
Yeah, no, it's McComb still pitching.
That's strike 1. So out of all of that, after the triple, we pull the shortstop, which really isn't computing with me. I think there's more to this. I'm missing something big time.
I agree. I have not figured out what that was all about.
This one is fouled away by McGilvery, and very quickly McComb has gone to 2 strikes. So all that stuff that I said about closing the book on him, the book is still very much open.
It is gone. I think I would say because the shortstop is close to their dugout that maybe he said something that he needed to come out for some reason, or is he warming up somewhere?
Called strike on Alex McGilvery, and for Alex, that's 2 strikeouts looking. For McComb, that's his 6th strikeout. Riley Good and Blake Brubaker are due next. So here's a text, and it says, "Is Drayton warming up now?" I don't know. And again, with all due respect to the Peter Holman ball yard, I can't see down the left field line. This one is pounded into the ground. Watson can't come up with it, and Rostock is on the board.
Someone standing on the left field line, but only one person, so I can't really. No one seems to be warming up.
Okay.
But that was my thought, is maybe they pulled him out to warm him up, and you can do that with these types of rules.
Okay, so we now have a runner at first, Riley Good. 1 run is in. It's a 2-1 ball game. Shallow Lake in the lead. Suggestion here, pull him out to warm up and can put him back in when ready on re-entry. So at some point, we may see Dre Howell
That's
back
what I'm
in
thinking. That was
pitching. But for now, it's Austin McComb with a 2-1 lead. And really, and I don't want to be harsh on Shallow Lake, Bernie, but their first game against New Hamburg was the better team, and they've shown it to this point with 2 shutout victories. But Shallow Lake threw the ball around big time in their first outing. In today's game, they have been very sharp afield, and the unfortunate thing is that out in right field, Johnny Couch, I think, got his hands on a ball, and conceivably, had he caught that ball, had Cole Watson fielded cleanly, it would have been a 1-2-3 inning.
Yep.
Instead, the tying run is at second base, and the batter is Blake Brubaker in the 9-hole. The changeup, he butts it, and they threw it away. So we've got a tie ball game now. Brubaker has come around to third base on the error. The throw from the catcher, Ben Redmond, was nip and tuck with the runner. And I think Jackson Pegelow's glove and the runner's leg were in close proximity. So it's a 2-2 ball game now with the go-ahead run at third base and the top of the order up for Rostock.
So to your point, Fred, this rally has been a function of some near misses for Shallow Lake.
Yeah, Shallow Lake has not been sloppy in this game.
No.
This afternoon against New Hamburg, and again, I'm not discrediting New Hamburg because they were a great team, but Shallow Lake was sloppy. They had errors at third, at short, in left, and in right, like obvious errors, and lost by a large margin, 9-0. Here tonight, they have not been sloppy.
More unfortunate.
Yeah, even that play, a left-handed throwing catcher in Ben Redmond fired it down to the first baseman, who's a right-handed catching player, and it just got to the wrong side of Jackson.
Got to the inside.
We have one out in the top of the 5th inning. 2-2 ball game here in Kitchener. Game number 7 of Softball Canada's U23. 1-2 is the count on Brancho. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game, Bernie. He struck out both times. Struck out to lead off the game, struck out to lead off the 4th inning. Fouls this one away to stay alive. Our good friends at Softball Canada and Game Changer have now made the final. New Hamburg 7, Monroe nothing. So that is officially in the books. And we've got ourselves a 2-2 tie. This one is cracked, but it's way foul.
Could be on the train tracks. To your earlier point, Fred, about the challenges of a tournament is when games get tied and go into extra innings, and the extra innings go forever. And we've been at the ballpark sometimes till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, last year we went to 1 o'clock. That's right. Furhan was pointing that out. Furhan from Conestoga is with us and just pointed out that last year we went to 1 o'clock.
Strike 3. So Brancho has struck out all 3 times he's been to the plate. That's 7 strikeouts for McComb, and he's 1 out away from getting out of it, albeit we may have another alteration coming here. Coming to the plate is number 51 for Rostock.
Batting with 2 out, number 5.
That's Mike Walker. So a pinch hitter here will be Mike Walker. Pinch hitting for Nick McGrain. Which again is kind of ironic in that McGrain had one of the hardest hits in the ball game that went for a double play. He drilled it into the glove of Jackson Pegelow.
Now batting number 51.
I'm just going to say, Fred, I don't think we're privy to all the variables up here, we're just watching what we see and going, what?
No, I'm sure for the fastball aficionados, they're probably listening to me going, what is this guy doing?
Well, no, I don't think they know what's going on down there either, and the coaches are making decisions using a lot of information, right?
I will say this for Walker, left-handed swinger against a right-handed pitcher. In baseball, that's the matchup you would want from the offensive start. And there,
oh, geez,
clutch.
that it worked.
What do I know? Boy, did he tag that. So an RBI single for the pinch hitter Mike Walker. That will score Blake Brubaker. And now, after trailing 2-0, Rostock has gone up 3-2.
As a former coach, I'd like to say that was good coaching.
When it works, it works.
And it works, and it's good coaching. When it doesn't work, it's bad player.
It is funny in these sports, be it softball or hardball or baseball, how a coach can be, or a manager can be a wizard one day and a doofus the next.
That's good, Britt.
One only has to look at the Toronto Blue Jays, where at one point this year they were awful in April.
Well, and Schneider was a goat.
Yeah, the question was, will he be the coach of this, or will he be the manager of this team by the end of the year? Blah 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 blah.
And
The next thing I'm reading is he's up for manager of the year.
Yes. Like
Danny Scott is coming to the plate. Scott is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He was one. I'm corrected on that. He was the one that drilled the one to first base for the double play. So almost could be 2 for 2. Running Redmond with the throw down. That goes into center field. And the runner's going to third and will get there in time.
Actually, that was a good piece of umpiring there for what was going on. The home umpire made the call at third, and he was like 5 feet from the play.
I will knock on wood when I say this, but we haven't had any explosions today. Certainly not at Diamond 1. 3-2. Rostock looking to pad their lead. There's a strike on Danny Scott. A leadoff triple, a strikeout followed, a fielder's choice scored the first run, an error throw put runners on, and then an RBI by Mike Walker. Ground ball, Franklin across to Pegalo, and Shallow Lake gets out of it, but not unscathed, as Rostock puts up 3 runs, and by my count, had 2 hits. For Rostock, through 4.5, 3 runs on 4 hits in the game. We'll see if Dre Howell comes out to pitch the 6th here in a 3-2 ball game.
There were 2 Shallow Lake errors.
I have to read up on those rules.
In the middle of the 5th inning, it's now Rostock.
When you're
3,
talking to the
Shallow
Kitchener
Lake
Fastball Promotions, tell them to hire an announcer who knows the rules of softball.
Oh, no, we Fred, we appreciate you so much coming down from Owen Sound every year to help us out. These you bring a lot of history, and that's great. The rules, like I say, trying to, even a lot of fastball followers don't know the extent of those extreme rules, I would call them.
It's probably an added expense, but I'm going to throw this out there, that Softball Canada should designate somebody to be either at this mic or that mic during the course of these games.
I have to tell you a story, because last year we had a commentator pull out, and so we grabbed one of the softball officials. Adam Brown was his name, and he did an excellent job, but Softball Canada wasn't happy because we were taking him away from his duties. But like you say, if we make it his duties, that would be good.
You know what? You have to write up a report, do you not, at the end of this, or somebody has to write up a report?
Yes. As every tournament we run for an organization, they ask for a report. So
right at the top of the top of the list this time, Bernie, is Fred Wallace demands.
We'll include that in the report, Fred.
That either the play-by-play guy is an expert in fastball or the color guy. Oh, and again, a shout out to my good friend Jamie Simpson, who saved my butt on a couple of cases here today. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Shallow Lake Sting coming to the plate, trailing by a score of 3-2. Dale Schweier still in the circle. Schweier has struck out 10. Of the 12 putouts in the ball game, Schweier has struck out 10. He has retired the last 11 in order. I wouldn't even say it was a rocky start. Shallow Lake got their 2 runs from their first 2 batters. Reese Martin would walk. Dre Howell would single. And with 1 out, Ben Redmond had a 2-run single. So this is Ty Franklin. Franklin for Shallow Lake. I'm just going to do a quick double check here. Yeah, Ty Franklin is now batting for Colby McComb. Franklin went into the game at second base. And Franklin draws a walk. For Schweier, I think that's his 2nd walk in the ball game. And that brings Johnny Couch to the plate. Couch is 0 for 1. Struck out looking back in the 3rd inning.
Sorry, number 6, Johnny Couch.
Strike 1 called on Johnny Couch. Again, we thank you for watching on softball.ca. We want to thank CCDTV, who are looking after us from a technical standpoint, both with the setup and the engineering here. That provides the live stream. And a wild pitch will allow Franklin to scamper into second. And I think in a tournament like this, Bernie, when you've got Sauk, British Columbia, and East Hants, Nova Scotia, you've got one end of the country to the other, that having a live stream, I'm sure you'd like to see people in the ballpark, but bottom line is it promotes the product right across the country.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, clearly people aren't going to be able to travel that far, although quite a few do. Come all the way from Newfoundland to watch the team, which is incredible in itself. But yeah, for the hometown people that can't get away, this is fantastic.
Johnny Couch at the plate. Runner at second. Swings through and strikes out. Strikeout number 11 for Dale Schweier, which brings us to the pitcher, Austin McComb. Runner at second. McComb looking to find Green to square the affair. He struck out swinging in his only plate appearance previously. He was the 6th strikeout victim. Not sure if that was called strike or whether he broke the plane or...
I think it was a called strike, but either way it was called.
One away, Franklin at second, Shallow Lake trailing 3-2. That's a ball.
Yeah, I think the first one was a called strike. He did about the same bad movement there.
Well, if Austin can make connection here, we've got a tie ball game. And he does, but he fouls it away.
Train tracks.
5th inning, bottom of the 5th. Final game of day number 1. Ontario 3, that's Shallow Lake. One of 4 Ontario teams here when you include the host, the Tavistock Merchants. In against Ontario 1, the Rostock Junior Batmen. McComb steps in. 2 strikes. Schweier looking for his 12th strikeout. Rears back and gets it. A dozen strikeouts, including Austin McComb twice. Numerically, Austin McComb was the 6th and the 12th strikeout victim for Dale Schweier. Reese Martin comes to the plate. A walk and a ground out. He grounded out to Alex McGilvery at second back in the 3rd inning. He has one of the 2 Shallow Lake runs. Schweier is striking out everybody. So this, I'm not going to say do or die for Shallow Lake, but they're not making contact. And you've got a runner in scoring position. Can you make contact one time? And he did make contact, but he fouled it off. The host team for this tournament, the Shallow Lake Merchants, lost their opening game to Delisle, Saskatchewan, and then followed that up by shutting out Quebec. The defending champions are the Monroe Mariners out of Newfoundland. There's a ball. They are 1-1. Monroe defeated Quebec 5-3, but then lost 7-0 this evening. Delisle, Saskatchewan, 1-1, come from behind win in extra innings over Tavistock, but they lost their other game against this team, Rostock. There it is, base hit by Reese Martin, rounding third base and coming hard to the plate, and he might be out. What a play in left field. What a play in left field by Danny Scott.
That was a game saver.
Wow. 7-2 on the putout. And that had to be rapid fire on the part of Danny Scott. He had to scoop it and drill it. And the throw wasn't directly to the plate, but it was to the inside of it. And the catcher was able to lay the tag out.
You know, I didn't see the runner come around third, but as he was coming home, he was really wide.
Okay.
Like he was far out.
For Shallow Lake in the bottom of the 5th, no runs.
I don't know if that allowed the ball to get there sooner, but it was quite the throw.
At the end of 5,
Shallow Lake now has 3 hits in the ball game.
3, Shallow Lake 2.
And I was on the verge of saying we had a 3-3 tie, but we're not. We're going to the 6th inning, top of the 6th, and Rostock holding the 3-2 lead. Tavistock is the host team? Okay. What did I say? Shallow Lake. It's late in the day, Bernie.
Fred, you've been going the entire day, for crying out loud.
Plus, I had that grueling 2-hour drive just to get here. All right, where was I? Quebec, they're 0-2. They lost to Monroe today, 5-3, and then lost to Tavistock, 3-0. So Quebec at 0-2. They've had 2 very competitive games. Rostock had a victory over Delisle, Saskatchewan, a mercy victory, and they have a 3-2 lead here tonight. New Hamburg has 2 lopsided wins, 9-0 over Shallow Lake and 7-0 over Monroe. They're 2-0. And Shallow Lake is sitting at 0-1 as we go to the 6th inning. And in the circle, in spite of our anticipation for Shallow Lake, is Austin McComb.
Last game on the slate for tomorrow on Tuesday at 6:15 p.m., Rostock and New Hamburg.
The 2 teams that conceivably could be the only 2 to go 2-0 on day 1. We could have 2 teams at 2-0. We could have 2 teams at 0-2, and the other 5 would be 1-1.
I think Rostock and New Hamburg will each have a game in between there. New Hamburg's playing Delisle.
We'll look ahead at the schedule during the next half inning. How's that? Right there.
Oh, okay.
Rostock will be back tomorrow at noon against Tavistock.
Against Tavistock. Okay, yes.
And New Hamburg will play early in the day against Delisle at 2:15. And then they have that matchup on Tuesday night.
At 6:15.
Ground ball back to McComb. Quick flip over to Pegalo. And there's one down.
So McComb's still pitching.
Yeah. So whatever happened to Dre Howell at shortstop brought Ty Franklin into the game. Matt Weiler to bat now. He's the designated player. He struck out twice, swinging in the second, looking in the fourth. And drilling it here. He smashes this one to right field, and that's gone. Solo home run for Matt Weiler, and it's a 4-2 Rostock lead. So McComb got the best of Matt Weiler in both the second and the fourth inning, striking him out. Weiler got the best of McComb on that one, parking it over the right field fence. It's interesting, there haven't been a lot of home runs in the games that I've seen today. I think the home run by Ricketts for New Hamburg was a majestic shot that went over the tent in right field, and that one.
I thought there was wind on and off today. I think flowing out towards left field didn't seem to really carry a lot of balls out there.
4-2. Rostock doing all of their damage in the fifth and here in the sixth. 3 runs in the fifth, and the solo home run by Matt Weiler has made it 4-2. Now batting is Nolan Baltina, who really ignited things in that fifth inning with a leadoff triple. A triple that I think Johnny Couch got almost everything on his hand on it, and just couldn't hold it. 4-2, Rostock leading, top of the sixth. McComb will deal. And Baltina, 2 strikes. McComb in the ball game has 7 strikeouts. He's got Brancho 3 times. Baltina, along with the triple, had a fly out to Colby McComb in left field. This one goes to right field. Camping under it will be Johnny Couch, and he makes the catch in right field. 2 away. It's funny, I will have seen Shallow Lake, which is as close to being a home team for me as anybody in this particular division, U23. I will have seen them twice today, and I don't know that I'll see them again until Thursday. The bulk of their games are on diamond number 2. But diamond number 2 isn't quite as upscale as diamond number 1 in terms of the facility, but it's still an excellent diamond.
Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't do the schedule around you, Fred. Softball Canada doesn't allow that.
There's recommendation number 2. Get an expert and make sure that if there's a Grey Bruce team in it, they're playing on diamond 1. Boy. Here's Alex McGilvery. Alex is 0 for 2, struck out looking, both in the third and in the fifth. 2 away here in the sixth inning. 4-2 lead, padded by the Matt Weiler home run. Watson at third, across to Pegalo, and there's the putout. So 1 hit for the junior batman here in the sixth inning, but it was a dandy. Matt Weiler drilled it, and that makes it a 4-2 game. What's going on over there, Farhan?
Rostock scored 1 run on 1 hit.
4-2 is our score as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Due up for Shallow Lake will be the number 2 hitter, Dre Howell,
In the middle of the sixth
who was at shortstop,
Rostock 4 and Shallow
but
Lake
no
2.
longer is. Jack Kivel is playing at short now. Ty Franklin is in at second. So this is almost like waiting for Christmas here, or waiting for the Great Pumpkin. waiting for somebody to see who's going to come out and bat. And that's number 8, going to lead off, Dre Howell.
So Dre's back in. So I think he came out as a potential pitching substitute, and then is now back in because that didn't happen. Is back in as a hitter. Well, unless are we in the top or the bottom? What are we?
Bottom of the 6th.
Bottom of the 6th.
So again,
so
just utter confusion on my part.
He could be pitching if they tie the game. Well, he could be pitching in the 7th. Into the 7th.
Okay. 4-2 is the score.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Howell in the ball game at the plate is 1 for 2. He singled in the first inning and scored on the RBI by Ben Redmond. Struck out in the 3rd.
Fred, we should give a shout out to Furhan, who's sneezing in the background,
yeah,
for staying with us all night and staying awake and running the controls. Conestoga TV is much appreciated, and Furhan's got the night shift, so thanks, Furhan.
Thanks, Farhan. Ball 1 to Howell, who is leading off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Play will start tomorrow or resume tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Quebec, who are 0-2, will go against Delisle, Saskatchewan, 1-1. That's the count on Dre Howell, 1-1. At noon, Rostock, who are in position to be 2-0, will go against the host team, the Tavistock Merchants, who are 1-1. Ball 2. Shallow Lake, who are trying to avoid going to 0-2, will meet Monroe, who are 1-1. That game at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And the New Hamburg Mustangs, who are 2-0, won't play until 2:15 when they go against Delisle. So Delisle will have a quick day at the ballpark tomorrow. They'll be done by 3:30.
That's the way it goes. Whole new set of games on Wednesdays. Generally, if you get a few games on one day, you get a lot on the next.
And you always want to have your host team, Tavistock, or your nearby team, Rostock, playing in the evening games.
There you go. The other thing I should point out, Fred sort of alluded to it to me, but we are only broadcasting the games from Diamond 1. So tomorrow we'll have Quebec and Delisle game, the Rostock and Tavistock game, and the New Hamburg and Delisle game, Brno and Tavistock, and the Rostock-New Hamburg game. So the Diamond 2 games, Shallow Lake and Brno, and
11,
Shallow Lake and, sorry, Fred, both Shallow Lake games are going to be over at Diamond 2.
Like I said, I might not see Shallow Lake until the playoffs, and they'll need some wins to get there, obviously. One team will not make the playoffs. It's a 6-team playoff and a 7-team tournament. One down, Dre Howell struck out. That was the 13th for Dale Schweier here tonight. Jackson Pegalo, the first baseman, will be the batter now. Called strike on Pegalo, although I don't think Pegs liked it. Bottom of the 6th inning. Shallow Lake down 4-2. All right. Back to the action here. Pegalo, left-handed batter. Hammers that. Chops it into left field for a single. For Jackson Pegalo on the ball game, he's 1 for 3. That brings Ben Redmond to the plate. Redmond drove in both runs for Shallow Lake in the first inning with a single and was stranded at third after back-to-back strikeouts of Jack Kivel and Cole Watson.
Now batting number 12.
So can Shallow Lake manufacture a pair here in the 6th to get us even, Bernie? We were talking about the scheduling and having Rostock and Tavistock have an evening game. I think that's just good for your tournament.
Yeah, and you certainly can't plan that, right? Everything I'm not sure when they set the schedule, if they do seeding at all, and how they would set it. I know they look to have the host team play on the main diamond for the premier games when the fans will be here. That's one thing they do.
There's another one chopped up the middle. Base hit. Pegalo is going to stay at second, and Shallow Lake putting together a rally. A single up the middle by Ben Redmond. That gives him a 2-for-3 night and brings Jack Kibble to the plate. So in the 6th inning, after a strikeout of Dre Howell,
Number 14, Jack Kibble.
back-to-back singles by Jackson Pegalo and Ben Redmond. Pegalo at second, Redmond at first, 4-2 game, and Shallow Lake is up to something now. Lander Hartley, who was the catcher in the first game, has got a bat. So he's going to bat for Jack Kibble.
Last year was Burhead's first year, and he was wondering when the game's end. I was explaining to him how it happened, and then we went to that 1 o'clock. We could very well be here.
Pitch hitting number 0, Lander Hartley.
I was doing PA in Owen Sound one time for an OASA event, and I have a feeling that the Owen Sound Crunch were the host team. And it rained late in the evening, and they were going to shut things down and resume the next morning based on the forecast at 8 o'clock. Well, the prominent pitcher for the Crunch, as strike one is called on Hartley, the prominent pitcher for the Crunch, and I still hear the quote, Bernie, "I've never won a game at 8 o'clock in the morning." So they started the game, I don't know, it might have been 1 o'clock. They started the game, and the Crunch got absolutely tattooed. Wild pitch will move the runners along a base.
It's getting interesting.
Shallow Lake has 5 hits in the ball game. They had 3 going into this inning, 2 back-to-back in this inning. 1 more hit might square it up.
I recall another tournament we were at. We were up in Barrie on the long weekend, and we went up the backside of a doubleheader and played at midnight. And then that late night game started at midnight. We were done at 1:30, and we played at 8 o'clock the next morning because we were going up the backside.
Lander Hartley trying to come through here for Shallow Lake. A single ties it, and he pops it foul. The bottom line is, too, that Shallow Lake had a run erased at the plate. Ty Franklin was thrown out at the plate on a really, really good play by the left fielder, Danny Scott, who fired it to the catcher, who made the putout. And this is hit, but it's foul. So Lander Hartley is getting his bat on the ball, but just not getting it in play. It's a 4-2 game with just 1 out here in the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th. Jackson Pegalo has moved to third base. Ben Redmond is at second. Lander Hartley trying to square the affair. How could we have this chaos? Schweier delivers and called strike 3. For Schweier, that's 14 strikeouts tonight. And after Hartley pinched hit, it looks as if Cole Watson is going to be replaced. And this will be one of the other Hartleys, Derek Hartley, coming to the plate. So back-to-back pinch hitters. Lander Hartley struck out, 14th strikeout for Dale Schweier. And now coming to the plate will be Derek Hartley. Hartley played third base in Shallow Lake's first game today. And in that game, he was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Again, Shallow Lake needs a base hit. Rostock looking to quell the uprising here and keep it a 2-run game going to the 7th.
Number 27, Derek Hartley.
We mentioned that Schweier had shut down 11 straight batters until he walked Ty Franklin. It was 13 of 14 after back-to-back strikeouts, and then the single by Reese Martin got erased simply because Franklin was thrown out at the plate on a play that would have tied the ball game. 4-2 is where we are right now, bottom of the 6th inning. And it looks as if Shallow Lake is also doing an alteration, and Jack Kibble is going in to run at second base. Kibble is going to run for Ben Redmond. Redmond is the catcher, so that also could be via the catcher rule. So here is Derek Hartley. Takes strike one. Schweier trying to bear down, get his team back to their dugout for the 7th with a 2-run cushion. When the strike one pitch, strike two. So does Schweier go right after him, Bernie, or do we waste one here?
I know he's got a lot of strikeouts. I think he's going after him.
A wild pitch, though, and there's been a couple, scores a run. And it's a high ball, and Schweier gets pumped as he strikes out the side, and that gives him 15 in the ball game. No runs, 2 hits for Shallow Lake, and so after 6 complete innings, it's a 4-2 lead for the Rostock Junior Batmen. The Batmen have their 4 runs on 5 hits, including the home run by Matt Weiler. Shallow Lake, they too have 5 hits, but just the 2 runs, which came very early in the ball game. Leadoff batter Reese Martin and the number 2 slot Dre Howell both scoring for Shallow Lake. 4-2 as we go to the 7th inning.
So, Fred, we should mention that the men's start up tomorrow. So people want to tune in and watch some of the men's games, they can do that. And the U23s fire up first thing in the morning at 10 o'clock.
Mostly U23 tomorrow, right, Bernie? And then I'm just looking at
Correct.
my schedule here. The game tomorrow night in the men's division will be the Toronto Batmen against the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. And then the following day, there's all kinds of activity in the men's division. So one game tomorrow in the men's division, but it promises to be a dandy between a couple of the Ontario representatives.
And, of course, the Cubs are the host team. And like I mentioned, the host team gets to play in Diamond 1 on the feature games. So should be a good game.
Had a good one here.
Rostock in the top of the 7th, number 20.
4 games on Diamond 1 here today. Most of them have been very competitive. Delisle with the walk-off win in the 8th inning over Tavistock. New Hamburg's win was not necessarily tight. Tavistock 3-0 over Quebec was a tight game. In fact, Quebec 0-2 after 2 very tight losses. The game here tonight has been extremely competitive. Shallow Lake led 2-0. Rostock leads at 4-2 as they come to the plate in the 7th. This is Riley Good to lead it off. Good on the night is 0 for 2. Grounded out to first baseman Jackson Pegalo. Got aboard on a fielder's choice in the 5th inning and came around to score. Austin McComb looking to go all the way for Shallow Lake. 2 balls on Good. Good, the number 8 batter. He'll be followed by Blake Brubaker, who's the number 9 hitter. McComb down in the count. Lofts one in here, and very quickly he falls into a 3-0 hole. McComb looking to come back here on this batter to give his team one more shot within 2 in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, the Masters men's will start tomorrow as well. There's 2 games in the evening for that, and just down the road, the Shakespeare Falcons will be playing at 6 o'clock against Waterdown. And 8 o'clock game is Coburg Force against Huron County Angels.
Ground ball to third base, gunned across by Watson, who's made a couple of nice plays at third base for Shallow Lake. One away. Blake Brubaker now, the shortstop, will come to the plate with one away. All of which means, Bernie, that Game Changer will get quite a workout tomorrow as we flip between U23, men's, and masters.
Correct. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you get really nuts.
We thank everybody and certainly Game Changer for providing that service for fastball fans. We once again say hello to everybody watching on softball.ca on our live stream from CCDTV here in Kitchener. But better yet, come to the Peter Hallman Ball Yard if you can, because the fastball's been very good on day one as Macomb fires another strike. Trying to get rid of the number 9 hitter, Blake Brubaker. Macomb sets back and gets him 3 straight pitches. For Austin Macomb tonight, that gives him 8 strikeouts in the ball game. It brings Tyler Brancho to the plate. Brancho has been 3 of the 8 victims. Striking out in the first, striking out in the fourth, striking out in the fifth.
So, as you mentioned, Macomb's pitched a heck of a game, and as we mentioned earlier, really a couple near misses that one inning really turned the game around. Otherwise, he's had a pretty good game.
Game of inches, right, Bernie? If Johnny Couch makes the catch in right field,
Yep.
and again, that's not a slag on Johnny Couch. It was a tough play. He almost had it, which would have been an out rather
almost
than a
out of
triple.
the inning.
Yeah. If Shallow Lake scores on Ty Franklin on that single by on the single that was hit by Reese Martin, we'd have had a 3-3 ball game, and the margin might be 1 at this point.
Such is the game.
Of course, if my parents had never met, there's a ground ball, 4-3 over, and there's the put-out.
Don't make it personal, Fred.
So that completes 7 for the Rostock Junior Batmen. They're looking to go to 2-0 in the U23 tournament. They have a 4-2 lead over 7 innings, 4 runs on 5 hits, one of them the home run by Matt Weiler, the other an RBI single by Mike Walker. Mike Walker was pinch hitting, and he had the single. Be interesting to see who comes to the plate here. Who do we have down below us? That's Ty Franklin. Okay. So Ty Franklin is batting for Colby Macomb. Franklin came into the ball game in the 5th inning. He came in defensively during the rigmarole that we went through.
You gonna go back to that one, Fred, and try and figure it out?
At 3 o'clock this morning, I'm going to pop up in my bed and go, all right,
I know why they did that.
I know what they were doing. Wow. Dale Schweier looking for a complete game victory for Rostock here. His pitching performance has been pretty impressive. Of the 18 outs, 15 of them have been strikeouts. So the only other outs that were not strikeouts, a ground ball to second by Reese Martin, a fly ball to Aiden Yard in right field by Ben Redmond, and then the throw out at the plate. Everybody else is struck out. Can he strike out 3 more to finish with 18 on the ball game and make Rostock 2-0 going to tomorrow's play?
Yeah, given it was 2-0 for the longest time, he sort of lost track of the fact that he was mowing them down. And now looking at the number of strikeouts, it's pretty impressive. I mean, if Rostock can finish this game off and win it, they'll not only have a victory, but Fred, you've put them on the map.
Yes. You know what? During the next municipal election, I might move there. 1 strike on Ty Franklin. He puts down the bunt, and it just rolls foul. Lovely bunt by Franklin. He's there. He was on the bag by the time Rostock was picking it up, but Rostock picked it up in foul territory. Again, to reiterate what you were saying earlier, Bernie, tomorrow, when the sun comes up, both Rostock and New Hamburg for sure, will be 2-0. New Hamburg will be 2-0. Rostock, barring the unforeseen here, will also be 2-0. They will meet tomorrow night. But because everybody plays twice on the day, they do have an opponent before they get to meet each other. Franklin strikes out. That's number 16.
With 1 out, the batter is number 6.
Johnny Couch
Johnny
now to the
Couch.
plate. Johnny has struck out twice in the game. Victims number 5 and 11.
And just to reiterate, that'll be one of the televised games. It'll be the last game tomorrow, but it will be one of the televised games.
Rostock will go against the host Tavistock, and New Hamburg will go against Delisle. So neither one of those will be easy touches.
Correct.
For the teams that
Yes.
one that is 2-0 and one's 2 outs
they-
away.
Potentially they could meet up 3-0 and 3-0, but not necessarily.
People in Shallow Lake are upset with me for suggesting such a thing. But they need a rally from Johnny Couch, Austin McComb, and Reese Martin. Martin has been on base twice tonight, but somebody has to get on to get it to Martin in the top of the order. Couch bounces it back, and Schweier will flip it across to the first baseman for the Batman, Nolan Baltina. So a 1-3 putout, and Shallow Lake, who have played a much better game here tonight than their debut in this tournament,
23, Isaac
are down to
Smith.
their last strike. Austin McComb is due up, but I don't think that's Austin at the plate. Schweier sets and delivers. A bunt laid down, and in fact, it's Isaac McGinnis. McGinnis did play in the earlier game for Shallow Lake today. In that game, 1 and 2, he had a triple. Takes a ball there. Shallow Lake down to their last out, trailing by a score of 4-2. Dale Schweier looking for a complete game victory here. Fouled off by McGinnis. 2 strikes. Down to their last strike are the Shallow Lake Sting. Again, Kitchener Fastball Promotions reminds you that you can get a day pass, you can get a remainder of the week pass, you can get a weekend pass. Lots of great fastball here in a great facility. Schweier delivers. Ground ball will bounce to the second baseman McGilvery, across to first, and that's the ball game. So Shallow Lake goes down by a score of 4-2. The line score, Bernie, for Rostock Junior Batmen, 4 runs on 5 hits, including a home run by Matt Weiler. For Shallow Lake, 2 runs on 5 hits, including the 2-run single by Ben Redmond. Shallow Lake falls to 0-2 in the tournament. Rostock now 2-0. And again, play resumes tomorrow morning at 10. Your thoughts on the ball game in day number 1?
Well, it was an excellent ball game. Like I say, Shallow Lake got out to an early 2-0 start, and that stayed there for quite a while. And it wasn't until they had a couple miscues, if you will, that Rostock tied the game. Shallow Lake had a chance to tie it and got thrown out at home, and then a home run, and that was pretty much the ball game. So I thought it was a good pitching duel. Both pitchers pitched really well, and it was a close game.
Puts a wrap on day number 1 in the U23 division. A game will start tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. You can keep up to date on the scores with Game Changer and softball.ca. Again, our thanks to CCDTV for all of their support technically and video so that we can live stream these games. We'll start tomorrow with game number 8 in the U23 event. Come and join us at 10 o'clock as Softball Canada and the Kitchener Fastball Promotions presents the U23 and the men's and the masters as we get rolling here in Kitchener. Good night, everybody.
A big thank you to Fred for spending the entire day in the booth. Thanks a lot, Fred.
Well, I did go to the grocery store.